MMA Digest here with Sean Pierson. So Sean, what have you been up to since your last fight?
Enjoying life, training, spending time with my boy, same old stuff.
Excellent. So up next for you, Dong Hyun Kim in December. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's going to be a great fight. I think he's, again, I'm like a 3-1 underdog. He's a great opponent, 14-1, but I think, I'm going to prove a lot of doubters wrong here and put on a great fight for everybody.
But also on that card, the main event, Alistair Overeem, Brock Lesnar. How do you see that fight going?
It's weird. It's like my money and my brain want to say two different things here. I go, my money would say Brock Lesnar takes this guy down constantly,
right,
and wins a fight like that with maybe some ground and pound or constant wrestling. But at the same time, I want to see an exciting knockout. Like Overeem's got all this hype about him, and he's had some great fights. So my heart's saying, this could be, maybe Overeem stops the takedown and we'll see a big knockout. And so again, I want to say Alistair Overeem wins, but if my money was betting, I'd probably have to say Brock.
Are you still a big fan of the sport? Do you really look forward to big fights like this?
I watch every fight, every single fight. So it's like the last month and a half has been crazy. It's every weekend, every other weekend there's been fights going on. That Shogun Hendo fight was incredible to watch. I don't want to be one of those guys because they'd be sore for a month or two after that fight. That was awesome.
Now also coming up, a big fight would be GSP against Diaz. That's the title fight in your division. How do you see that fight playing out?
It's interesting because Diaz is a real tough opponent. He's got great boxing, but I still see George, pushing Diaz up against the cage, getting some dirty boxing in there and out wrestling him. And I don't think Diaz, again, my opinion only, but I don't think Diaz can sub George. BJ Penn's had George on the ground. I see George putting him on his back and pounding away and, grinding out a decision unless Diaz opens up and then possibly, I want to say a TKO stoppage. Everybody's like, no, George will never stop him, but you never know. But I think George is going to be motivated for this fight and you're going to see a lot of wrestling.
Now also, a lot of people think that Rory McDonald is the next GSP. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I don't want to ever pigeonhole anybody as being the next anything. Rory's a great fighter. I train with him all the time, and he's got a great future ahead of him. So is he the next GSP? No, he's the next Rory McDonald. Like, he's going to go out there and he's going to be a great fighter and he's going to perform the best he can. But to put somebody to say you want to be this or you want to be that is just too much. But I think he's got a great future ahead of him, and he's extremely talented for as young as he is, and he's only got a bright future ahead. And
finally, Dong Hyun Kim in December. How's that fight going to go down?
It's going to go down. I think I'm going to put a beating on him. He's got a great skill set that he brings to the table, and I'm just going to try and counter every one of those. Out-grapple him a little bit. I want to counter wrestler, and then bang it out standing up and see what happens.
Excellent. Best of luck, man.
Thanks.